In this chapter, we will be wrapping up about proper attire. If you remember when we were talking about why it's important to dress properly, especially when you are going out and about, now we're going to talk about the last piece, which is footwear. And I mean the importance of footwear. Think of it like this. When you go to your job, do you see anyone around you wearing flip-flops or sandals or anything that's really open toe? Usually no, unless depending where you are, that's different. Some of the mistakes that I have made when it comes to footwear is buying the wrong type of shoes for the certain occasion, wearing the wrong size and also the wrong socks, or wearing them right after I purchased them and not wearing them in the house for a period of time to make sure I break it in the soles properly. And that's why also, whenever I shop for new shoes, I make sure to be on lookout for good quality sneakers or trail shoes. Let me show you this example of what I did when I went to REI. Okay, so here we are at REI, and these are the men's hiking shoes that I always like to kind of get curious about. So not only is it important to have the right kind of socks, but also making sure that it is the right kind of comforts, because having foot pain or blisters of any kind is never fun to have. So for something like this right here, and some people say, oh, this looks kind of nice, because look at that, this is Gore-Tex. But notice here on this kind, this is just very flat traction. And I mean, it's still solid, but the thing is, I've had experience with just flat traction shoes like this. They don't really do so well, and yes, I have almost slipped and fallen on these, and these were not, and that was not fun to have. Versus something like this over here, this kind has better traction, because notice how they are a little bit sharp edges here, but the better kind with this setup is that it grips to the ground better, and it was actually much more comfortable for me. So that is why it's important. Don't just buy it and then thinking, oh, it's just because it looks cool, or you think it's just comfortable right on the first time you try it on. That is why it's important, after purchasing it, try the different socks that is going to work for you, and also make sure that you wear it in the house for at least a good month to month and a half, just to make sure it's going to fit you right, it's going to be comfortable for you, and if it's going to cause you discomfort, then make sure you return it right away. And if you need to have better insoles for better arch support or whatever it is that you were feeling, then make sure you do that months before. One mistake I did make was when buying insoles when I was there, and then I suffered greatly. So please, oh please, don't ever make that same mistake what I made. Okay, so now that you have seen that example, now let me show you another reason of why you don't ever wear open-toe shoes, especially when you're going out and about, unless if you are in a certain location, or better yet, you're just at the one location the whole time and you're not, making over 10,000 steps a day. Okay, so let's imagine when you first arrive at the airport and after you do the check-in at the counter, and now we have to go through security. As they say, remove your hat, your shoes, your belt, and also empty your pockets. Now, here's one reason of why you don't ever wear flip-flops or sandals. Okay, this was pretty easy to do. Now it's in the bin. And guess what happens? Now your feet are exposed to the dirty floor. Not a good idea, is it? Especially when you're about to begin this journey. So that's why it's important to go the other way around. Now after going to security, okay, good. Now we can put these back on. Wow, look how easy that was. And then once you get through the security line, then you look and you check your itinerary, then you realize, either they're about to board in 10 to 20 minutes, or they're on a completely different side of the airport and we're gonna have to run for it. Do you think it really makes sense to run wearing flip-flops or running shoes? Something to think about as well. And that's why I'm here to tell you, please, oh please, don't wear open-toed shoes, especially when you're at the airport. All right, well that concludes our chapter for proper attire, and I hope you learned a lot or at least took some notes. Please tune in for our next chapter as we start to continue walking this journey.